Estamos num momento desafiador para as marcas e cheio de oportunidades para a comunicação. Nós ainda somos persuadidos por emoções e ideias. Nigel Moris, fundador da Isobar.
We did a study in 1995 called Fluid Lives, all about consumers whose lives are getting more fluid. Our thinking has to be more fluid, and this is just something that we use just to stimulate. This is the way you need to think now.
A mais atual ilustração de como as mídias sociais estão mudando o jeito de engajar sua audiência é o Twitter. Uma rede social grátis com milhares de usuários ativos, gerando bilhões de opiniões e o mais interessante, sem nenhum tipo de publicidade e nenhuma mídia tradicional sendo usada. Storm, cofundador, fala como foi criada a experiência.
We started out with a very simple concept, and that was my friend Jack Dorsey, who's a co-founder of Twitter, came to me while we were working at another company, a completely separate company, and he said he was inspired by the away messages inside applications like AOL Instant Messenger and other such applications. The fact that you could look at a glance and see that your friends were either out getting coffee, too busy to chat, feeling sick, whatever it was. And he said, isn't it interesting that you look at this and you get a sense of what those people are up to and what they're doing right now? Then the following year, we noticed something else that was really amazing, and that was a story I like to tell about a photojournalism student named James Buck, who was a student at UC Berkeley in Northern California. And he wanted to photograph activism in Egypt, and he kept missing the protests by about an hour or two. And he asked his friends in Egypt, how do you guys know how to coordinate and where to meet up and how to do these protests? And they said, oh, we're using this great thing. It's called Twitter. It's like a free newswire. You should sign up. And what was funny to us is that he learned about it in Egypt rather than the Bay Area, which is where everyone... Cairo! So, of course, he was totally plugged in, and he made it to the protest. He got these great photos, and then he told us another funny story, and that's that most police officers, according to him, have mustaches in Egypt, and you can tell when something's up when you start seeing a lot of mustaches all around you. And he was like, wait a minute, mustache, thrown in the back of a car, arrested, and they didn't take away his mobile. And so the first thing he thought was, I'll just send it a Twitter. And he sent a one-word Twitter, and the word was arrested. Now, the folks following him back home had been following him, knew what the situation he was in, and they were able to call the dean called the lawyer called the consulate, and within a few hours he sent out another one-word tweet, which was freed. So, and that was a story that opened our eyes, thinking this is something that can be used globally, and it can be used for more than just, finding the best party to go to. And then we just started to see all kinds of stuff all around the world. And it signaled to us that no matter how sophisticated our algorithms or how many boxes we order, how much technology we string together, that ultimately Twitter is not about the triumph of technology, it's about the triumph of humanity. In Southern California, and they used Twitter to indicate where they were seeing flames and smoke and coordinating those efforts. We saw it during a gas shortage in Atlanta last summer in Atlanta, Georgia, where people were using Twitter and Twitter search to organize and share with each other where their fuel was so that they could find the fuel. We of course, have seen multiple instances of Twitter being used as sort of a breaking news platform and getting information coming out from the Mumbai attacks last Thanksgiving and the Moldovan revolts and recently events unfolding in Iran. And another story I like to talk about is an earthquake that happened last summer. It struck at 11:42 a.m. And also at 11:42 a.m. we saw some of the first Twitter updates coming in that very minute. And they were very specific. They were what book is falling off what shelf, what's the cat doing, what's the dog doing. There was even one woman who was at her OBGYN at the time, and I won't repeat what she tweeted, but it was very funny. And she became internet famous because of it. What was interesting about the earthquake was it struck 11:42 a.m. 9 minutes later, the AP issued a wire stating that, in fact, there had been an earthquake. And I got curious, and I said, okay, in those 9 minutes, how many Twitter updates did we see that had the word quake in it? And this was a year ago, before we really started to see some growth. And there were 3,600 tweets with the word quake in them, and even at a conservative estimate of about 15 words per tweet, Twitter had collected a 50,000-word book from first-hand accounts about the earthquake on the ground, while the AP had put out a 57-word release. And that really signaled to me there's this 175-year-old newswire business, and then there's this 2-year-old company called Twitter, and how are they gonna intersect? How are they gonna fit together? I think they're very complementary, and I think there's a lot to be explored there.